What's up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Got a new knife review for you. Let's jump into it. All right, guys, we are checking out a new model from Kansept. This is the Echis, and I'm really excited to check it out with you today. We got titanium scales with titanium hardware, titanium pocket clip with a titanium frame lock bar insert. Very good lockup on that one. S35 VN modified sheep's foot blade. Really like this one a lot. I love that it comes to that low aggressive tip. That's going to be great for utility work here. And it's got a nice tall flat grind with an opening hole for deployment in the blade and a flipper tab for deployment with a front top flipper. Very cool. This one was really comfortable to cut with, guys. I took it downstairs and just tested it a little bit to get a feel for it. And man, it looks a little funny at first when you pull it out of the box. You know, the way that kind of just swoops up and down kind of reminds me of the Roach a little bit. Not that it looks like it, just that ergonomic approach. It was really comfortable, and the flat grind was sharp out of the box, went through the catalog paper, went through the cardboard really well, and it again, fantastic tip for those utility cuts. And the S35 VN was unfazed by that little sample size of cutting that I did with it. You got a really good access to the lock bar here. Tight action, but that's Kansept. Has those race tracks that are in the bearings, and then in the washers, not the bearings. And then the bearings ride a little different on this than they do on some of the, or most of the knives that you typically see here. I like the geared backspacer as well. That's nice. You get a little bit of grip from there. Ergonomically, with this flipper tab having that jimping there, it really does lock you in. I mean, it is just super, super comfortable. You got a lot of cutting edge here. Very comfortable for that pinch grip. You're able to get right out to the tip there. Use that very well. The opening hole on here works good too. You're able to reverse flick it and thumb flick that very nicely. Good jimping here on that flipper tab, and it just absolutely fires out. And then good aggressive jimping here. I've noticed that with Kansept. Sorry, I slipped off that pocket clip, so that is a little bit of feedback for me, is that low profile pocket clip, even though it goes in and out of the pocket very well, nicely in and out of the pocket, good retention too. I do slip off it a little bit, so, and that might be because the detent is actually tuned really well on here, and I might be down a little bit too low as well. Yeah, I'm not feeling it close up, so actually moving up on it, yeah, moving up on it really works for me. I was skipping off of it even though the jumps are good, and I think that's just because I was manipulating it from a bad position on the knife. So, feels good. Very, very tight in the pivot. I almost want to try to loosen it up some, but I'm scared it might move. It is favoring just ever so slightly on that show side. And I'm worried if I try to loosen it, which I'm going to do it just to see if it moves any. It moved a little. Okay, so the blade didn't move. Let's see, did that do anything? A little looser. It might be that the detent is tight, and now we have some play. So I got to go back. Maybe it wasn't that it moved. Maybe the movement didn't do anything. Let's see. Let's try it now. Still a little bit of play. It might just be that lock bar is so tight on it. Okay, play's gone. Still feels the same. Oh, it walked back a little bit. Okay, so maybe it was just a little too loose. All right, I don't know. I've moved a lot there. I'm sorry. Okay, so we're back center. So maybe it was too loose. I didn't realize it had come loose. And the action doesn't feel any different. Feels the same. So made no difference. It's just the way that these Kansepts with those race washers and the way that the bearings ride on them feel. But, you know, truth be told, it does give you some control. It makes it nice and solid in the pivot. So that's really nice. I do like that. The S35 yen on here, again, Kansept's S35 yen for these knives that are coming in around 200 and under. It performs really well. I like the steel at that price point. I think it's a good match. I think Kansept and Kaiser's S35 yen, very good. I think Kansept, it's a little bit more expensive usually for what you get, but I think they give you all titanium hardware. And if I recall correctly, I think most of the Kaisers that I have with their S35 yen give you like a steel pivot and then titanium back here. And they do the steel in the pivot, which doesn't bother me, saves a little bit of money. But the steel is going to be a little bit less prone to being stripped and things like that when it's in the pivot. You know, the downside is you don't get the anodized pivot. Usually it's solid color or coated. So, you know, you got to pick your poisons, I guess. Let's do some size comparisons. All right, so we have the Manix 2 lightweight out here and the Para 3 lightweight, and you can see the Echis is a full-size knife. Let's do a couple more size comparisons. All right, speaking about Kaiser, I have their S45 yen Militao here on the table, and you can get the S35 yen version of the Militao for $159. I think these are coming in at $199. Editor, I'm sorry, you might have to correct me if I'm wrong there, but you can see it's very comparable in size to the Militao. Let's close it up just so you can see what the profile looks like closed. All right, closed profile, you can see it is in between as far as how much space it'll take up in the pocket, how it'll ride, very comparable to the Militao. I think it actually might go a little bit deeper, so kudos to Kansept for getting that pocket clip all the way out there. And the top flippers making them about the same depth in pocket. Let me grab the scale and let's check the weight on this one. All right, we got the scale out here and it is cutting on. Let's check the weight on the Echis. I'm thinking like 5. 4.3, 4.2. Actually, that's a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be. I guess it just felt heavy because I had the Militao in the hand, which is deceptive for me because that's coming in at 4, and it's not a big difference, 4.2 to 4. But it just might be the way that it lays across the finger, like there's more, it's more spread out, I think is what throws me off. But 4.2 is definitely lighter. Let's go ahead and finish with thoughts and impressions. All right, final thoughts and impressions on the Echis. All right, I score on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being perfection, 1 being the worst thing that you've ever seen in your life. What goes into it are materials for money, so price point and performance, ergos, and the knife overall, the vibes that it gives me, how it feels as far as the build quality, all of that goes into effect. So a lot of stuff here that's positive, not a lot negative if I'm honest with you. I get a full 4-finger grip here, able to easily grip on here. It's very comfortable to use. I do like the fact that I feel no hot spots. I feel that geared backspacer helping me grip in, flipper tab locking me into place, jimping here locking me into place. Even when I clip down, like if I'm going through dense material and I need to really push and I don't want my thumb here, very comfortable, guys. Not hot at all. Like this is performing very well. Lots of cutting edge, big belly, slice the material very, very well. I do rather like the S35 yen from Kansept a lot, and very comfortable to use with this modified sheep's foot blade shape. Very good for those detailed cuts, trace cuts, and then again, you can even go over the flipper tab a little bit if you need to get out here and take care with your detail work out here on the tip. But if not, I land perfectly here. Lots of belly, and it's not digging too far into the package where I'd have to worry about it depending on what I'm cutting into. Score on this one, 7.9. 7.9. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about this one, but I think this might be one of my top 2 Kansept knives. I really liked this one. I enjoyed the link a lot. There were some small squirrels with this one, but this one here, not too much. And what I say by quarrels, they use T6 instead of T8 hardware. I'd like to see T8 throughout, but I will admit their T8s are tooled very well so that driver bit goes deep into that screw head to keep it from stripping out. I would like to see sterile pivots coming from Kansept. I know that they do this so that you have two points of leverage, but I'd like to just see a sterile pivot here with a little notch or something there to keep that from spinning while you're tightening it in from one side. My other quarrel is just going to be, I'm not a huge fan of the race washers with the bearings. I understand their purpose and what they do, and I appreciate that, and it is a very controlled close, but sometimes I just feel like they're a little too tight in the pivot, so I'd like to see that loosen up. Flipper tab jimping is excellent. The opening hole a little tight. I would have liked them to just chamfer this down a little bit more without making it so thin that it would be uncomfortable to disengage the lock bar if they could have removed any more material. Having said that, it's not awful. And then it's good for the thumb hole opening, really good. And then that top flipper, man, great height, great profile. When I realized during this review that I was actually holding it too low, that I could move up a little bit here, I could move right behind that flipper tab and I'm not getting caught by that top flipper. Adversely, the link was like this tall when the flipper tab was sticking out, whereas this one's in there very nicely. S35N is good as I bump the knife. Pocket clip in and out of the pocket, excellent pocket clip. This is really good on the Echis. I like this design overall. It's not the sexiest knife I've ever seen, because again, when I first saw it, I was kind of like, I'm not sure how I feel about it. But what won me over was the way that it performed. The ergos, in and out of the pocket, lock bar access, just the way the knife performed. It raised it up for me a little bit, sort of like the Roach did. When I saw the Roach, I was kind of like, eh, but then when I was using it, I was like, man, and that makes me appreciate the knife that much more, right? It's form, it's function over form, right? That really is what won me over. I really like this one. I have an affiliate link down below, so if you decide to buy this one and you choose to use the link, it will help the channel. Totally up to you. And if you like the video, feel free to hit that like on your way out as well. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Echis. Is this one that you liked? What is your favorite concept? If not, just hello and a pocket check, man. I love to hear from you guys, the comments. I love to read them and interact with you, so thank you for that. Special thank you to my channel members. All right, guys, I am out of here. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.